The morning light spilled softly through the wide diner windows, spreading over the chrome counters, red leather booths, and the faint smell of coffee that clung to everything. The kind of place where regulars knew each other's names and the jukebox still played songs from decades ago. Behind the counter, Emma moved quietly. Her blue waitress dress pressed neatly, white apron tied with care. She looked tired, but her smile carried something honest. It was early, the kind of early when the world still yawned and the sun hadn't decided whether to shine or hide. She refilled a man's coffee, wiped the counter, and tucked a loose strand of hair back behind her ear. Life had been simple once. Now it was about survival, rent, long shifts, and the quiet weight of dreams she no longer spoke of. Across the diner, Jack, a man in his late 30s with a thick beard and a weather jacket, sat with his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. They came every Sunday morning. Same corner booth, same order, pancakes for her, black coffee for him. He didn't talk much, but he watched everything with quiet awareness, the kind that never left a soldier who had seen too much. Lily adored Emma. She always waved when Emma brought her pancakes, and Emma always bent down to smile back. "Extra syrup, right?" she'd say, and Lily would nod with that shy little grin that melted hearts. It was peaceful, until the door opened. 2 men in black suits walked in, crisp, polished, and cold. They didn't look like they belonged here. They carried something invisible with them, something sharp. Emma froze for a second when she saw them, her hand tightening around the coffee pot. "Morning, gentlemen," she said carefully. They didn't respond. One of them, tall, square jaw, eyes that didn't blink much, nodded toward the corner. "You've been ignoring Mr. Whitman's calls." Her voice shook slightly. "I told him I'm not coming back." The second man leaned in. "That's not a choice you get to make." Lily looked up from her pancakes, confused. "Daddy?" Jack's eyes lifted, slow and steady. He said nothing yet, just watched, observing, measuring. "If you believe kindness still exists," the narrator's voice would say softly here, "take a second to like this video, subscribe to Everyday Heroes, and share your thoughts below, because your words might touch someone's heart today." Emma tried to move past them, but one of the men grabbed her arm. "You're making this harder than it needs to be," he hissed. The clink of a coffee cup breaking the silence made everyone look up. Jack had stood. He didn't move fast or shout. He simply placed his hand on his daughter's shoulder. "Stay right here, sweetheart." His voice was calm, too calm. He walked toward the counter, boots slow against the tile. The men turned to him, eyes narrowing. "Mind your business," one of them said. Jack's eyes didn't leave Emma's. "You okay, ma'am?" She tried to smile, but tears had already filled her eyes. "Please, they're just trying to take me back to my old job." "I said no," the shorter man scoffed. "She was a caretaker for Mr. Whitman's daughter. She crossed a line. He doesn't like to be disobeyed." Jack's jaw clenched. Crossed a line? By saying she wouldn't be controlled anymore? "Back off," the taller man snapped, grabbing Emma's wrist tighter. And that's when Lily's voice broke through. "Small but fierce, Daddy. Please help her." The diner fell utterly silent. Every eye turned toward the father and daughter. Jack took another step closer. "Let her go." "Sir, I'm warning you." "No," Jack interrupted, steady. "You're the one who needs a warning." He didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. There was something in his tone, something that made even confident men hesitate. "If this moment touched you," the soft narrator's voice said, "tap like and help us spread more kindness in the world." The taller man released Emma's arm slightly, but still stood firm. "You don't understand who you're dealing with." Jack's expression didn't change. A bully who thinks money gives him ownership over people. "I've seen worse." Emma looked up at him, her breath trembling. "Please, you don't have to." He gave her a faint nod, almost a smile. "Yes, I do." The suits exchanged glances. "Fine," the shorter one said. "We'll call Mr. Whitman. He'll come himself." They left, pushing the door open with too much force. The bell above it rang. Loud, shaky, final. The diner exhaled. Emma sank into a stool, clutching her apron. Her shoulders trembled. Jack knelt down beside her. "You all right? I didn't mean for anyone to get involved," she whispered. "I just couldn't keep working there." His daughter wanted to study art, not take over his company. I told her she had the right to choose. Next day, I was fired. Jack nodded slowly. And now he's trying to scare you back. She looked at him with wet eyes. Why are people like that? He sighed. Because they forget that power isn't ownership, it's responsibility. Lily walked up holding a napkin. You can have mine, she said softly. When I cry, Daddy gives me this. Emma smiled weakly, wiping her tears. Thank you, sweetheart. For a moment, everything felt human again. Simple, honest. But peace never lasts when power feels challenged. That evening, as rain began to streak down the diner windows, a black car pulled into the lot. A man in an expensive gray suit stepped out. Older, confident, with the kind of face that had never heard the word no. Mr. Whitman. Inside, Jack was just finishing his coffee. He'd stayed longer that day, helping Emma clean up, making sure she wasn't alone. The bell rang again. The same suits entered first, then stepped aside. Whitman walked in. The air seemed to tighten. Emma, he said, his voice smooth, practiced. You've caused quite a scene. She froze. I'm not going back. He smiled. You don't get to decide that. Jack stood once more. She already did. Whitman turned, sizing him up. And you are? Just a man having coffee with his daughter. Whitman chuckled. You think this is your fight? Jack's tone was quiet. No, but it's yours. With yourself. If you're still watching, the narrator's voice said softly, this moment means something to you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay with us. Because stories like this are what keep kindness alive. Whitman walked closer. You have no idea who I am. I don't need to, Jack said. I just know what kind of man grabs a woman in public to make her obey. The diner was silent again, except for the rain against the windows. Emma's hands shook as she whispered, Please, I just wanted to help your daughter find her own path. She loves painting. She shouldn't be afraid to tell you that. Something flickered in Whitman's face. For the first time, he hesitated. Jack noticed. You were a father once, weren't you? I still am, Whitman snapped. Then start acting like one. Lily stepped forward before anyone could stop her. Her small voice cut through the tension. My daddy says real dads protect people. Even when it's hard. Whitman looked down at her, this little girl with honesty in her eyes. And suddenly, he wasn't looking at Jack anymore. He was looking at the reflection of everything he used to believe in before money hardened him. The rain outside slowed. The room seemed to breathe again. Emma whispered, You can still fix this, Mr. Whitman. Just listen to her. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then Whitman took a slow breath. She wants to study art, you said? Emma nodded. He closed his eyes, exhaled, and turned to his men. We're done here. And then, to Emma, tell her she can have her scholarship back. Emma's lips parted in disbelief. Thank you. Whitman looked at Jack, not with anger, but something closer to respect. You have a brave daughter. Jack smiled faintly. She's the reason I remember who I am. As Whitman left, the diner filled again with the quiet hum of life, spoons stirring. Coffee, rain easing into sunlight, and hearts learning that sometimes the hardest battles are the ones fought with compassion. Emma turned to Jack, her voice barely a whisper. I don't know how to thank you. You just did, he said. Lily tugged Emma's apron. Can we come see your art sometime? Emma smiled. You can help me paint. They all laughed, the kind of laugh that feels like a new start. A week later, the diner looked brighter. Emma had framed one of her paintings on the wall, a watercolor of a little girl holding her father's hand in the rain. Jack and Lily sat in their usual booth, sunlight pouring over them. Emma brought them coffee and pancakes, smiling. Extra syrup? Lily grinned. Always. Jack looked around the diner, the people, the warmth, the quiet sound of life carrying on, and then at Emma. You doing okay? She nodded. Better than I've been in years. Thank you for standing up when no one else would. He smiled. You would have done the same for someone else. She looked at him for a long moment. Maybe. But that's what makes you different. He shook his head gently. Kindness isn't different. It's just forgotten. The narrator's voice softened one last time, wrapping the story like sunlight through the window. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Everyday Heroes, and tell us in the comments, when was the last time kindness changed your day? Outside, the rain had stopped. The world looked clean again, like maybe, just maybe, kindness still had a place in it.